And you're tuned into CNN News 18. We now return with an exclusive news break. CNN News 18 mega exclusive on the NEET fiasco. Remember, the matter is still pending before the Supreme Court, and the top court will be hearing the matter next on the 18th of July. But in the latest, we are learning that CBI is close to finding out everything, including the extent of the leak and how it was only limited. There was a conspiracy, as per top sources, to suggest that the whole examination system is vitiated. In fact, top government sources have told your channel that the CBI has given a full-fledged report to the Supreme Court in a sealed cover. In fact, the government of the opinion that they have definitive information as per sources about what happened and to what extent did the leak take place. The same, in fact, has been informed to the Supreme Court in a sealed cover. What time it happened, how many papers were in fact leaked out, did it go anywhere else, who are the beneficiaries, so on and so forth. All these details in the sealed cover that has been submitted to the Supreme Court as per highly placed sources. List of beneficiaries and numbers also have been handed out to the top court in that sealed cover. In fact, some of these additional inputs will be submitted by the 17th of July is what we are hearing. Let me go across to Shereen Elizabeth joining us with more details. These are exclusive inputs that CNN News 18 has managed to access. What do you make of this? It's also on the lines, Shereen, of what was said earlier by the centre as far as its affidavit is concerned, which was earlier submitted before the Supreme Court. Next is on the 18th when we expect the top court to take this up. But what do these inputs suggest?
Well, this is the inputs that we are getting from the seal cover that has been submitted by the CBI to Supreme Court. Remember, last time in the hearing, it was decided that the matter will be now taken up on July 18. So the exclusive inputs that we are actually getting out of this seal cover is that it is very limited. It's not really a systematic failure when we talk about the paper leak. There is no nexus or an organized gang that was involved when it comes to the paper leak. It is very limited to a very certain number of candidates who appeared for the NEET examination 2024. Now, what our information that we are getting is that it could in fact be just less than 100 aspirants who were involved in this paper leak. Remember, already around 17 of the students from Bihar has been debarred, and around 30 of the students from Godhra who were involved in the paper leak, their results have in fact been withheld. So the number, it seems, can't be more than 100 is what the investigation of the CBI is indicating right now. There is no systematic failure is what the CBI has found out right now. Who were the beneficiaries of these paper leak? Who benefited? Who are these students? More detail will be given to the Supreme Court a day before the Supreme Court is going to hear the matter again, which is 18th of July, and the CBI is going to submit more detailed information on 17th. Now, these information also are in fact revealing that some places people were, in fact, these aspirants were cheated by some people saying that they will be given a question paper, but they never got a question paper, and instead these scamsters who were in fact claiming that question paper will be given to them, they got the money, but some of these aspirants or who were involved in the paper leak never got the question paper. Apart from that, some places there were in fact invigilators who tried to help the students who were caught red-handed, and that is also restricted to one room or two room, not more than that. So overall, what the investigation of the CBI right now is suggesting something similar what the NTA and the Education Ministry has been saying, that it is not a nexus, it is not a systematic failure when it comes to the paper leak of NEET UG. Very, very small number of aspirants were involved in this paper leak, and accordingly, we have already seen that some of the actions have been taken, like 17 students from Bihar who have been debarred from the examination, and the rest, around 30 from Godhra, have been asked to, their results have been withheld. So the number, it seems, is very small, is what the suggestion of the CBI's investigation is right now.
Okay, this is going to be big. You know, if these submissions are indeed handed over to the Supreme Court, Shereen, it's going to be a defining moment as far as the legal battle is concerned, because remember earlier as well, we did hear from the top court speak of how, you know, a retest is going to be the last resort. So the Supreme Court has made its intent very clear, and with these submissions and pointed questions being asked by the Supreme Court, both by from the centre and the CBI, if the CBI comes out to say that they have 100% definitive information about what really happened, then it indeed is going to play a big role in what we can expect next, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the investigation by the CBI, of course, a lot depend on the status report that will be submitted by the Central Bureau of Investigation as to who all are involved, who were the beneficiaries, what is the amount and extent to which the paper leak has impacted the students. If it is going to be small fraction, right now it is being suggested that the CBI investigation suggests that the number could be even less than 100. Then, of course, there are chances that the re-examination could not be announced by the Supreme Court, because right now the effort of the Ministry of Education and Supreme Court is to make sure that the students' future is not jeopardized, because we are talking about 24 lakh students, and if they have to give the re-examination again, it will in fact be a very stressful and time for the students. So that is why all steps are being taken to ensure that identify who were the students who were involved, whether the nexus or whether there was actually an organized gang, which the CBI said that it seems that there was no nexus or organized gang that was involved in the paper leak so far. So this all, very important factors depend on this status report that will be submitted by the CBI. A seal cover has already been submitted, but the CBI now says more detail of the beneficiary and the impact of this paper leak will be submitted on 17th of July. And also remember, Christine, that on 17th, in the last hearing, IIT Madras has also done their proper research and data analysis, which also shows that there has not been much impact with the paper leak, and there doesn't seem to be a biasness when it comes to the mark distribution. So it seems all steps are being taken by the NTA and Ministry of Education. And with all this data that will be now with the Supreme Court, we have to see what is going to be the decision that will be taken by the Apex Court on 18th of July.
Okay. Now, CBI, Shireen, has been in charge of the investigations as far as the paper leak incidents are concerned. And we've seen some of those arrests also earlier take place in states like Bihar, for example. With the CBI also being part of the investigation in full force, we saw the CBI engaged in, day-to-day developments that were taking place around the NEET paper leak case. What are the pointed observations as per, the details that we're picking up that the CBI plans to put out in front of the Supreme Court? Because it's very interesting that the CBI seems to suggest that the paper leak has taken place in isolated locations. It's not, a paper leak which perhaps took place across. That's what the CBI seems to be suggesting. But I'll come back to you, Sharon. We have Clyde Trusto joining us on the phone line. Mr. Clyde Trusto, what do you make of this? The CBI has now come out to say, and this as per highly placed sources, telling CNN News 18 that they are 100% definitive of the manner in which the leak took place, and this leak was limited to a certain pockets, and they've been able to identify that as well. Now, the Supreme Court did pose certain questions to the NTA, to the centre, and with these submissions, if they stand true, what do you think is going to shape up in the next few days?
Well, it's good that the CBI has finally found out the leak, where it happened from and what has happened actually. But the point remains that the whole education system is flawed, because how can the examinations paper be leaked in such a manner? The education system, the education department of our country, the education ministry have flawed in some way or the other. They have failed to take care of this whole examination system. The minister, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, has to take the responsibility. By sacking just somebody from the department is not going to work. The whole system failed because they did not look into it properly. So what was their duty? They did not fulfill. A lot of students have suffered. I mean, we have heard stories about how students have, to go to the exam centers, they have booked their tickets, they have booked places to stay. How are they going to be compensated? Are they already compensated? No, they are not.
Okay, I want to go across to Mr. A. Sarvanan of the DMK, but before that, Mr. Crasto, to the pointed comment that's coming from you, CBI as per sources, is saying that this is a major conspiracy to suggest that the whole examination system is vitiated.
No, how can it be a conspiracy? It's out there in the open in black and white. The CBI itself is saying, no, that all these things were leaked and everything was done with a conspiracy. So the conspiracy was done, and the education department, the education ministry was sleeping. They were caught unaware. They were caught napping. So why is there a conspiracy when we are highlighting the truth? The truth is that there was a conspiracy which worked and the papers were leaked. So the answer has to be given by the BJP-led central government.